Hey buddy, how you doing? You alright? So yeah, so something a little bit different this week. Basically, what I'm going to do in this video, I'm just going to give you the text updates that I normally give you inside of Slack. Well, what I think I'm going to start doing, both for yourself and for some of our other clients who are in the program at the moment, I'm going to start doing these video updates, showing you exactly what we're doing on the marketing side, and show you exactly how that works, but also provide some context on these updates, because I think you'll be able to get more value out of this if I basically just explain exactly what's going on. So yeah, so as you can see, I'm in your store's dashboard now. There's two things that I need to do, which is the first one is I need to send your weekly welcome voucher reminders, and then I also need to send your monthly gift voucher reminders as well. So I'm going to do both of those right now on this video, and then we're going to look at your stats, and then I'm going to provide some focus points for the week ahead. All right, so cool. So let's head back to the store. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to basically clean up your customer segments. So we just go to customers, and we go to customer segments. This will be useful for you knowing this sort of stuff. Basically, in the future, when you take over the store, you'll know how to do this if I do these updates like this. So the first thing we need to do is we need to delete this imported on 6th of September segment, right? Because what happens is every time we import these segments, you'll see what I mean in a moment, we need to delete this because it creates a new segment every time you import customers into your store. What we're essentially doing is we're importing your updated brand rep list, which is essentially what this section is here, right? So I'll explain, you'll see exactly what this means now. So every time you do this, you're always going to have this imported on such and such a date. So what we do is we have to delete that segment, otherwise you'll just end up with a ton of them, right? So all of these segments we need to keep. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to look at the brand rep unsubscribed segment, because this is empty, but sometimes it won't be. This is people who are unsubscribing from your brand rep program, and when they unsubscribe, we need to remove them out of collabs so they don't continue to get vouchers. It does tell you how to do that, which is here, but we're not having to do that because we have nobody in this segment. So this brand rep unsubscribe segment is essentially what that does, right? So we can skip this bit. So the next thing we need to do now is we need to update your active brand rep list, right? So we're just going to follow the instructions here. I'm going to show you, but like I said, there is a step-by-step there. It's very simple to do. We go to collabs, we go to connections, like so, and we just export your brand rep list, right? So we're just going to wait for that to export. Exports as a connection CSV file. I'm just going to reload the page. What we're going to do is going to click on connection. We're going to add the connections. This is on our website, this tool, so we're just going to download active reps, and then I'm going to go to your customers, import, add file, select yours. We're going to overwrite, we're going to add tags, and we're going to add the tags reps. Okay, it actually says it in the file name what you should do. You should always overwrite and add tags. So we're going to import these customers now. Okay, so as you can see, there's the file name there. Look, add tags reps overwrite. Okay, so you know what to do. You always get this one failed to import. Okay, that's just basically the very end line. It's not actually failing to import anyone. This is how many active reps that you have right now. Okay, so we're going to press close. So we've done that. So the next thing we need to do is we now need to send the weekly reminder email to this segment, right? So the next thing we do now is we go to your email app, and we basically find the last email that we sent to that segment, which I know is the weekly reminder email, which is this one. Okay, so if you're not sure, if you click into these, it will tell you. Does it tell you there? No, I think you might need to click in here again. If you click on the preview, it will tell you the segment that we send that email to. All right, so this is the segment that we want to send to. The reason why we're looking at this is because this is the one that we want to duplicate. Okay, I wonder if it just press preview there, if it tell you the segment there. No, it doesn't tell you the segment, right? So, but you can kind of tell by the email. Look, you can see this is a welcome voucher reminder email, right? Telling people about the welcome vouchers. This is what we're doing. We're sending weekly welcome voucher reminders here with this email, right? So what we're going to do, just follow the steps. What we're going to do is we're going to just duplicate this email like so. Okay, and then we're going to just remove this copy of section, because that copy of section is always added when you duplicate emails. All right, so the email itself is pretty solid, right? You don't need to modify it really at all. The welcome voucher email it can stay pretty static. It's got everything it needs, and it works obviously really well. So we can see it's going to go out to 94 people. We're just going to review, and then we're going to schedule, and then we're going to just hit now, right? We're always going to just hit now straight away. We always send email now. So we're going to send that. That's done. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is, now we've done that, I'm going to close that, and I'm also going to send your monthly gift voucher reminder. Okay. Now I normally do this one on a Friday and the previous one on a Wednesday. It's just I've had a very busy week and we didn't do the one on a Wednesday, so I'm doing them both today. So the next thing we need to do is we can skip this stuff because it's not the first day of the month. We're not issuing vouchers. Skip all this. You can go straight to this section, which is the cleanup, right? Which is the which we've already done with the previous guide that we just followed. So we've already done this bit, so we don't need to do that. We've already updated the active brand rep list. This is kind of the benefit of doing these on the same day, because you're already doing this anyway. Otherwise, you need to do this on a Wednesday and then do this on a Friday. But yeah, so we can jump straight to sending the weekly reminder to the brand reps. So we want the weekly reminder for the voucher, which is the September voucher, right? Which is this one. So what we want to do is we want to duplicate this one, okay? And bear in mind, if I know how I know this is because the correct email will be sending to the brand rep segment. So if I duplicate this email like so, it should show that it's going to the brand rep segment. So 181 brand reps, which is what we imported. Always remove that copy of, like so, okay? Make sure there's no space before it. And as you can see, everything is September, so you want to check this stuff. So when you're sending these, because this updates every month, you know, when you're doing this next month, it should say November and so on. So I'm just going to check this email to make sure everything says September. Otherwise it doesn't make sense. Like say for example you duplicated from August and then you left August in it, that would kind of not make sense. So yeah, we've got September there, we've got September here, so that's looking all good. So we can review that, and you get one last chance to look at it, but we know it's correct. So we'll just send that, and we'll send that now as well. So the two emails that we've just sent, okay, the two segments that they've gone to have got different people in it. So the one that we sent was the weekly welcome vouchers. So that is basically going out to brand reps who have not ordered. Okay, that usually goes out every Wednesday. And then the one we just sent now, this one at the top, is the monthly recurring voucher reminder, which goes out to all of your brand reps, okay, who are basically active in your program right now, reminding them to use their monthly voucher for September, which expires on September the 30th. So nobody would be receiving, if you do that correctly and you follow the steps, nobody is receiving two emails there, because those segments have got different people in them because they've segmented their different criteria, right? So we've done that. So that is the email marketing side of it. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to look at your figures for the last 7 days as part of the weekly update, and everything is looking pretty solid, mate, in fairness. Last 7 days we're basically just shy of £1,800 shipped. To give you some context of what the value of that is, if I do 1796 minus 60%, which is essentially, which will give you the wholesale cost of that product. So if you had to buy that product yourself, you would have paid £718 for that product, right? That would be the wholesale cost. So next we're going to look at the conversion rate. So conversion rate is 8.5%, which is, that's a crazy conversion rate. That is solid, absolutely solid conversion rate. No problems with that at all. We ideally want it to be above 4%. The fact that we're above 8% is just, yeah, it's just absolutely fantastic. You've collected 212 in the last 7 days, which is pretty solid, buddy. And you've also got 59 people landing on your brand rep applies to become a brand rep page, which is how we know how much reach out you're essentially doing. This figure here is a good indication of how effective you're being with your direct DM reach outs, because when you do direct DMs, you're effectively sending a link to that page to those individuals. So how effective that DM outreach is kind of shown here every week, right? So to give you some context, mate, I've just done one of these videos for one of our other clients, and in the last 7 days, he had only 5 individuals land on this page. You've got 59, right? So more than 10x his number. And well, we know why that is, right? That is because he's not doing reach outs and you are, okay, buddy? So the reach outs, these reach outs that you do, okay, these invites, this is what causes these numbers, okay? This is how you get this product shipped, this is how you get this net sales, and this is how you get the growth that you're getting. It's because of those reach outs, all right? So it's super important that you do that. Now let's just take a look at the 30-day, and so we look at the longer trend. So we are, so what are we, 5,000 shipped in the last 30 days. So let's just have a look at, so I think you were, what, just shy of 1,800 shipped in the last 7. So if we times that by 4 to get 30 days, that would technically be 7.2. So in the last 7 days, you're actually shipping a higher volume of product than you have over the 30 days. So you're actually, we can see that you're increasing. You can see, kind of see it in this chart. And if we look at the 90 days, so we know you're doing 5,000 over 90 days, 5,000 over 30 days. If we do 90 days, this is 8,003. So we just saw we're doing 5,000 shipped over 30 days currently. So, and your 90-day figure is 8,003. So if you continue doing 5,000 over 30 days, this figure would effectively be 15,000. So you can see how much more growth that you have now to what you've had in the past, right? So one other thing I'm going to look at, I'm just going to look at your collabs recruiting page. So let's pull up your collabs recruiting. It's a little bit buggy sometimes for collabs, so let's just have a look at here. So yeah, I'm just looking at collab invites. So I can see, yeah, so you haven't sent any collab invites since the 8th of August. And if we go to the recruiting page, yeah, so if I try recruiting somebody, I would imagine you've got a full invite allowance. So here's the thing, right, bud? So this 100 invite allowance, I would recommend that you use this. The reason why is because if you send those 100 invites, you are going to get additional orders from those. So at the moment I can see that you're just relying on DM outreach to bring in your collaborators, which is obviously working really well. So absolutely continue what you're doing. What I would say, if you could fit it in, try and just add an extra, just 15 invites per day to the Shopify collabs by searching UK based collaborators, okay, like so, home decor or anything like that. Really, basically home decor, there's always new people coming on collabs, you see. Home decor, and then let's size people up to you. So you are currently 1,287 followers. So we want to be realistically targeting people between 12,000 and 120,000. So that's 10 to 100 times your following. So what we can do with that is the audience size. So let's go 12,000 to 120,000. Like so. So ideally, I would be searching for keywords, home decor, home improvement, all the different types of keywords that you would basically use on as hashtags. Search those to find individuals, and basically, you know, luckily Collab shows you which ones you've invited now, but there's a lot of individuals you haven't. So I would realistically open these in a new tab, okay, so that you don't lose this page. Open a new tab and just invite. So I will actually just do this right now. I'll do an extra one for you. Make sure you add the gift. Make sure you add the welcome gift. Very important. And yeah, we'll send an invite for you now. So we don't need to do anything with that. Just send the invite. Okay. And the reason why you should send these invites is because the people who are on collabs are very familiar with Shopify collabs. They know the process. They know how it works. They've already got the account set up. They're very likely to go and accept your gift offer. They haven't got to sign up for anything. So, because the way collabs works is that when you send that invite, they automatically get that gift into their collabs account. It's very easy for them to then claim it. So what we say is, these are really easy wins. And because you're trying to get to 5 orders a day, which in fact, in fairness, buddy, there's your 5 orders per day today. And all right, you hit 4 yesterday. Wednesday you hit 4. Tuesday you hit 6. What I'm saying, bud, is you're almost there, right? So you could definitely help yourself a little bit by doing the collab invites as well. All right, so I think that's pretty much it for this week's update, bud. I'll do another one of these videos next week. Let me know if you found this type of update more valuable. If you did, I'll continue doing these updates this way. Anyway, cracking job. Oh, one last note on your Instagram, by the way. Yeah, let me just go to your Instagram. So your Instagram, yeah, so you're what, 12, almost 1,300 followers now, bud. So you're doing a fantastic job with Instagram. You're posting pretty much every day as far as I can see, and you're posting all of your collaborator content to your stories, which is perfect. And don't forget, you should be downloading that content and uploading it to your grid as well, so that you can get your collaborator content on your grid, because your stories only last 24 hours. One little thing, a little aesthetic thing, adjust your logo, bud, because it's cut off. It looks a bit, you know, a bit meh, you know. But yeah, you're using all the highlights as well. I love this stuff. It's fantastic, brilliant, honestly. And I would probably, in all fairness, I'd probably give this a rewrite. All right. What I would say is, in your store, in the online store preferences, the reason is because this looks very ChatGPT-ish, right? This looks, yeah, doesn't look great to me. What I would do is maybe use something like this. Use your meta description from your site. So go to your online store, go to preferences. You've got a meta description here, which is basically like your little brand message, which we wrote for you right at the beginning we launch your store. Pop this in your Instagram bio. All right, buddy? I think that'll make things look a bit more professional. But yeah, keep doing what you do with Instagram. Make sure you post every single day. It is super important. And keep doing what you're doing with the collabs. And yeah, continue with the outreach. And just use your Shopify collabs 100 invite limit every week. Because you're gonna get easy extra sales from that. They're pretty much guaranteed sales from that, right? So there you are, bud. I'm gonna leave that update now, and yeah, hopefully it helps. Give me a thumbs up if it did. Right, cheers, buddy. I'll upload this to your Slack channel now.